Many people are already aware of the difference between spirituality and religion. They realize that having a belief system, a set of thoughts that you regard as the absolute truth, does not make you spiritual no matter what the nature of those beliefs is. In fact, the more you make your thoughts, beliefs, into your identity, the more cut off you are from the spiritual dimension within yourself.
So I grew up with a pretty religious family. Even my uncle is a priest, so believing in God and following our religion is very important to my family. And, when I was younger, as a child, I remember I started questioning religion because I really was confused with the contradiction or even discrepancy between what was being taught in church and how my extended family was treating me. I didn't get why, religion or church, going to church, they talk about, being loving, being kind and all that stuff. And I felt like my extended family, they were always making fun of me, always picking on me and made me feel excluded. And so I couldn't understand why, they say that they believe in God so much and are so devout to our faith that yet what was being taught at church didn't match up. I didn't understand why, they behaved the way that they did. And so I questioned it a lot, but I didn't really understand it yet. So when I got older and became a teenager, I got more angry and resentful towards church, and I basically rejected the idea of religion. And I remember I still had to go to church because my parents made me, and I was angry and resentful about doing that. And I remember one time I had gone to church and I saw a couple students from my high school there. They were the Asian gangsters from my school, and they were very angry, very aggressive, and would always try to start fights with other students for really no reason. They were just so angry. And, it just kind of made me think about that. And I just thought how hypocritical it was that they would, show up to church, feel like they could just confess their sins and then go back to normal, to their day-to-day, and just torment other kids and be, bullying other kids. And so I felt like it was just performative, that them following, the religion was just insincere because they wouldn't try to change to be better people. They just continued on being aggressive and trying to start fights with other people and angry. And so it just felt like it was performative. And I'd even say nowadays, spirituality can be performative in itself, right? That just because you can put up an act about I meditate, I do XYZ, but then you go and you're completely unconscious in your day-to-day life. It's how much are you really practicing what you believe in? Is it just something that you identify with to enhance your ego? And so when I continued on with my journey, I actually came to realize that, religion is not the problem. It's actually, to me, I have a lot more appreciation and respect for it now, but it can be used in two ways. I feel it can be used as a tool or a guide to help you connect with your spiritual side, or it can be used to enhance the ego, right? So it's not religion that's the problem, it's what people do with it. So I feel like you could even watch the news and see, the dysfunction of how people use religion to enhance their egos and how that plays out. And so I think it's really important that we self-reflect and really get honest with ourselves, how we use religion. Is it something to enhance our sense of self, or is it something that we actually just use as a tool to help us connect with our spiritual side?